Here we are, we're at Aida Thomas's house. This is Aida Thomas, I'm Charese Mongiello. And we're going to talk a little bit about Aida today.
Okay.
So Aida, you grew up in Mexico?
Yes, I did grow up in the north of Mexico in a state called Sinaloa. And that's where I studied. I went to the university there. Here are my credentials because I've been doubted of them. This is my junior high school when I went to university in junior high school. This is my high school. And this is Escuela Libre de Derecho, is one of the most prestigious schools for law school. You can look at it.
Look at that. So you were a law student.
Yes, I did 5 years of law.
Wow.
And after I finished law school, I went to, instead of going into law practice, I went into becoming an auditor.
Wow,
Yes.
that's amazing. So what got you started into becoming an auditor? When did you first find out about Scientology?
Well, when I was in Mexico, I was a lawyer and I wanted to help people. That's why I studied law, because I really believe in human rights and I really believe in equal rights for women, for children and things like that. And I wanted to help people, and that's why I studied law. However, you realize that you only help people from the legal point of view. So I decided to become a journalist, and I thought I'm going to write these articles and say all these things. However, in Mexico there's no freedom of speech on the newspapers or the TV. And here is interviewing a famous Mexican soap opera actor.
Oh wow.
And I'm here interviewing a very famous Mexican singer, Angelica Maria.
So how long were you a journalist for?
I was almost my half of the time when I was in law school. I also took journalism and became a journalist.
Wow.
I'm here interviewing another actor.
That's fantastic.
And here's another picture of me interviewing for when I was starting to be a lawyer and when I was a journalist at the same time. And I realized that, oh yeah, here's another picture. I'm here with the President of Mexico back then. I was invited to represent was one of the students that were invited to represent the university with the President of Mexico.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
Yes. My father was a famous writer in my home state. This is one of his books. And he was also a university professor. And I was raised with helping people all my life. But when you practice law or journalism, you help people. But I wanted to help more.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out about Scientology, and I read the book Dianetics, and I really like it a lot.
That's fantastic. Did you read it in Spanish or English or?
Yes, I read it in Spanish. It took me one night.
Wow.
I stayed up all night long reading the book. I couldn't go to sleep until I finished the book. Probably with misunderstoods, and maybe I understood half of it, but I read the whole book in one night.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
And then what did you do after that?
Well, I decided, I was in Tijuana then, and I decided to come to the United States and study Scientology in the United States. And I came to San Diego in 1976, and I did the COM course there, and I heard about the St. Hill Special Briefing course. And I thought, oh my God, that's what I want to do. If I studied law and I went to university, I should go and do the biggest course of Scientology.
Yeah.
And here's the picture from when I first came in 1977 to Asher.
Oh wow.
To do the St. Hill Special Briefing course.
Look at it. So basically a year later you were doing the St. Hill Special.
A year later,
That's
I was
fantastic.
doing the St. Hill Special Briefing course, a year after I got in Scientology.
That is fantastic.
And here's a picture of one of my PCs. Her name is Marta Ballesteros. She came from Colombia, and I audited her. I did a debug program on her, and soon after I did the debug program on her, she went on to winning the Freedom Medal in the United States.
Fantastic. And then, so then you took the Class 8 course, right?
Yes, when I did the briefing course at ASHO, I audited a lot. I also worked at Narconon for 2.5 years. and I learned how to handle those type of problems, and I really like it a lot. I never really agreed with the management of Scientology because I came from a different point of view than many people come. I didn't come from the point of view that I'm getting in a religion or anything like that. I came from the point of view I'm a college graduate. I went to university, so I have all this. I look at the tech from the eyes of like Mexico lawyer helping people and doing great things with it. And
So Narconon, that's for drugs, right?
yes,
So they helped a lot of cases with the drugs and stuff.
right.
Sorry, I just want to say, you're more a person that likes to help people. It doesn't matter how much money you make or what. You're more into, I mean, because drug addicts are a hard case to crack and stuff. That's definitely has to come from your heart. That you usually don't have a ton of money laying around. I don't know too many drug addicts that do, so that's pretty. That's a
Things change from when I was to now. I wanted it to be different, and we created, because I was the one who made Narconon bilingual, and I got people that spoke Spanish, and we created a Spanish program for Narconon in Los Angeles, and that expanded into the other countries of Spanish language like South America and Spain. However, there were things that were not according to my likings, and I'm moving to coming again into auditing regular people who had those type of problems, and that's when I did the Class A course.
Oh, that's cool.
Was one of the first Spanish Class A's in the planet.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
And probably, I guess there's a few that are around, but you're probably one of the only ones, right?
There's other 2 Spanish Class A's that I know of, but they're lost in the, how do they say in English? The belly of the beast in the Sea Org, and I don't know what they're doing or what's happening with them.
So that's cool.
Yes.
So you're out here, you've been out field auditing people out here in the field for how many years now?
30 years. Yes, I have audited a lot of people for free. I audited at the time when I was studying at ASHO. I audited most of the staff for free because I feel like they deserve it. And I audited in Spain. I audited people from Spain, Colombia, Venezuela. I've been to France, to Greece, to Switzerland, England, Mexico, United States, Canada.
Wow.
Yes. I audit only in English and Spanish, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool. So, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Yes, I want to say that a lot of the stuff that is happening right now outside the church, there's a lot of auditors, there's a lot of expansion, that it appears that Scientology is shrinking when it is not, because a lot of new groups are being formed, as we already know.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And I know you're forming a group in Riverside Drive. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on it, but I have an extension course that I actually wrote. And so I'm working on getting that actually put up and stuff. And then
What course?
It's going to be a course on actually exchange. So actually exchange by the dynamics. So it's going to go over all the different dynamics, clear all of that for people, and then what people exchange in the dynamics, for each dynamic, what exchange they get. And because the policy that I read was, I think it's ESTO Series 10, and it just goes over that you actually create space by exchange, if you keep your exchange in. So that if on each dynamic you went over and looked at what you exchange and what you get in exchange, it can actually create a lot of space for you as a thing. So that's what I thought that would be a great course for any level of Scientologist, because it just goes over the dynamics, which is a basic thing, and then exchange and finding out what your product is and stuff.
That's an excellent course, because you have to also understand that when you do exchange, it's not just giving something for something. Like particularly in the second dynamic, what is the exchange? Yeah. You have to be a product first on the first dynamic. You have to be healthy, good case shape, you have to look good, you have to be like, not like how could you say, well educated, good manners, so when you're presentable to somebody, and then you can be a product and exchange on the second dynamic. So on the second dynamic, what you're exchanging first and foremost is yourself.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's great.
I done hundreds of hours of exchange and conditions by dynamics, and that's what I tell people, you know, why I cannot find a second dynamic, you know, and then I say, well, take a look first at your first dynamic.
That's a
so
good
that you can
point.
exchange on the second dynamic. And then you also have to be in a higher condition. When you exchange a lot, your ethics conditions go higher.
Yeah.
The less you exchange, the lower the conditions. That's one thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, but if you just target first of all what your product is, what your exchange on for each time, yeah, no. So I think I'm hoping that it'll help a lot of people with the course. And
Right.
stuff. And then I want to train up some course supervisors in the area. I want to do my goal is 6 people or something to start it. So some mini course supervisors, and then we'll have a few that they can exchange and to teach the course, you know, while others don't, or, you know, whoever chooses to do it. We'll have enough to actually do the COM course, the HQS, and the HQS is Hubbard Qualified Scientologist course, and then the student hat course.
Yes, I like working with you because I want to bring the kind of like the 70s where everybody exchanged with everybody and they co-audited and anybody could go up the bridge if they studied a little bit and co-audit with each other and they help each other, and I think it's the best way. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to get up the bridge. Just roll up your sleeves, get trained, co-audit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.